How's it going, everyone? I'm Sir James, coming at you guys with another Star Wars Galaxy's Edge product review. I feel like it's been a while since I got to use those exact words here on the channel, but hey, I've been waiting for Disney to release more merchandise for me to share with you guys, and well, on May 4th, they definitely released quite a bit of stuff. A lot of clothing, backpacks, accessories, Return of the Jedi 40th anniversary stuff and whatnot, but I did pick up some of the main highlights that I can't wait to share with you guys, such as this really cool Sith Wayfinder. We also have a new Sabi's Workshop lightsaber connector, which will allow you to connect two sabers into one, making them into a double-bladed hilt. About dang time, right? We also have a really cool, nicely updated lightsaber stand with kyber crystal holder, and there's also the limited edition legacy lightsaber for Cal Kestis, which I also have. So plenty of really cool reviews that I can't wait to share with you guys here on the channel. And I thought we start off with probably my personal favorite of the new releases, and that is the Sith Wayfinder. Now, the Sith Wayfinder retails for $50 and will be found over at Dok-Ondar's, which is the same locations you will find the kyber crystal, legacy sabers, Jedi and Sith holocrons, and so on. Now, you might not be familiar with the Sith Wayfinder, or you might need a little bit of a refresher, like where have we seen this? The Sith Wayfinder was actually seen in Star Wars Episode 9. In the very beginning of the film, we see Kylo Ren laying waste to anyone who gets in his path on the planet Mustafar, and he ends up stumbling upon this crate. He, of course, pushes the crate lid right open, and then, of course, ends up pulling out the Sith Wayfinder that Darth Vader once owned. Now, there's also another variation of the Sith Wayfinder, which I'll showcase that in just a few minutes, because, yes, there's two different ones that you might be getting. So here's what the packaging looks like. Again, this here is to resemble the box or crate in the very beginning of the film that Kylo Ren stumbled across on the planet Mustafar, which I thought was pretty neat. And like I said, on the inside, you will have your Wayfinder plus a little cable. Now, this little cable, as you can see, there's no like power source or anything like that. You just kind of plug this in, wiggle that into place, and then on the front end here, and you'll know if it's the front because the back is going to be the speaker ports, where this has a little magnet that just kind of sticks on right there. On the bottom, unlike the Jedi and Sith holocron, this does not feature a rechargeable battery. Instead, it uses batteries instead, and you have your on and off switch. So, as I mentioned, there's two Wayfinders, and the actual crate itself is considered a blind box, kind of like the kyber crystals and whatnot. So there's a chance that you may get the black one, which again is the one that Darth Vader owned. However, there's a chance that you may also get the white variant, which is the one that Darth Sidious had on the Death Star 2. And here is what that one will look like. And here's the two side by side. If you guys were kind of curious, what do they look like? Now, is there any difference between the two? And the answer is yes, but the difference is very minimal. Now, I know a lot of people may prefer one over the other, but as far as functionality, they do function the same way, which we'll get to that in just a moment. But in terms of what is actually the difference between the two, first off, you have the obvious outer shell colorization. One is black, one is white. It's pretty straightforward. The lighting element, when these are first turned on, the black one will have that green lighting effect, while this one will have a blue lighting effect. And the last thing, but not least, is when these things are left on, meaning that they're idle. First turned on, idle, you haven't activated a crystal, it's not currently reading a crystal. After about a couple of minutes, on the black variation, you will hear Darth Vader's breathing. While on the white variation, you will hear the creepy Darth Sidious laugh. Which you guys will hear once we get to the audio portion of this review. And that's pretty much it. Other than that, they function the same exact way. And let's go ahead and get to the whole functionality in terms of what exactly does this do for your $50 price tag. And why do I like this so much? So first off, when you first turn this on and you bring the cable over, you plug this in. which is pretty neat. And this is where things get even cooler. Now, if you're someone who's gone out of your way to collect all the variations of the kyber crystals, and I do mean all the variations, which for those of you who don't know, there are 17 total kyber crystals to collect for all the different characters, the 8-ball variants, the rare black obsidian crystal, and so much more. There's 17 in total. If you already have the collection, or maybe are going through the process of trying to get all the variations of them, all 17 of those crystals work with the Sith holocron. I was about to say Sith holocron, the Sith Wayfinder, which means that not only do you have 17 crystals that you can use on this device, but that's also with the added dialogues, because each crystal will give you 4 pieces of dialogue. So if my math is correct, that's 68 forms of dialogue that you will get off the Sith Wayfinder, which makes this already well worth your investment right off the bat for the $50 price tag. And if you're also a Disney member, meaning that you have a seasonal pass, discounts do apply towards this item as well. Even without the discount, I still say this item is well worth it in the end too. Now, how do you actually use your kyber crystals, and how does this work? Let me go ahead and turn off this little light here. And don't worry, you guys will hear the audio without me being in front of it, talking and whatnot. I'm just going to go ahead and simply bring over a kyber crystal, which we're going to go ahead and bring over the black obsidian crystal. And this is how it works. So, this is the front, like I said. The back is where the speaker is. What you do is go towards the front, and you are going to scan your crystal along this bottom part right here, like so. And you do get a cool lighting effect as it's mapping out your destination on both sides.
The vaccine station is an ancient construct orbiting a dying star deep in the outer rim. Centuries ago, it was used as an outpost by the fierce vaccine warriors.
Now, to get additional dialogue, you just take your kyber crystal and scan it in the front again.
The vaccine station was overrun sometime prior to the High Republic era by the Dringir, a species of sentient plants from wild space. The invading Dringir were then trapped in stasis by the Sith.
Or you can hold the kyber crystal in front of it.
The Dringir's captivity caused vegetation to engulf the vaccine station's central sphere, creating an eerie arboretum overgrown with mosses, grasses, and vines. The First Order's Supreme Leader Snoke used the vaccine station as a retreat, meditating on the Force amid its bizarre plant life. He lured Ben Solo there and encouraged the vulnerable boy to embrace the dark side.
I mean, how cool is that? Like I said, all 17 pieces of kyber crystal do work with the item. Now, unfortunately, I couldn't find 2 of my crystals, which would be the Qui-Gon Jinn and Maz. I was going to have all the dialogue presented into the video, but because I can't find those crystals, I can't really do that portion. So what I'm going to be doing is that as I exit, I'm going to go ahead and basically play for you one of each of the different colored kyber crystals. As to which one is going to be featured is going to be the luck of the draw, whichever ones I picked out, and so that way you guys have a chance to hear some of the dialogue that's presented here. Again, it's not going to be all the dialogue, it's just a portion of the dialogue that you're going to get all together, including, again, what you just heard, the black obsidian crystal. But in the end, I think this product is 100% well worth the money if you've already gone through the process of collecting all the crystals, or are still in the process of collecting them, or maybe this might be something that might convince you to start collecting those crystals as well. But let me know what you guys think about this product. Until then, I'm going to go ahead and finish off by letting you guys listen to the audio, and I'll definitely see you guys on the next product review, and may the Force be with you.
Tatooine is a harsh desert world of sand dunes and baking rock that orbits twin suns in the galaxy's outer rim. During the Republic's final years, Tatooine was a lawless world controlled by the Hutts. It remained in a haven for smugglers, outlaws, and fugitives under Imperial rule. Far from spaceport cities such as Mos Eisley, tough settlers eked out a living on Tatooine's moisture farms, trading with Jawas and keeping a wary eye out for prowling Tusken raiders. Obi-Wan Kenobi retreated to Tatooine after the Jedi's fall. He watched over Luke Skywalker and awaited the day the boy would be ready to learn the ways of the Force. Steeped in the dark side, Malachor is a lonely planet on the galaxy's edge. It was the site of an ancient war between the Jedi and the Sith, a terrible conflict whose echoes can still be felt in the Force. Malachor's surface is a waste of petrified ash broken by stone pyramids. This wasteland conceals a subterranean Sith temple which was destroyed during the Empire's rule. Lore about Malachor was restricted to the wisest Jedi Masters for fear of awakening slumbering Sith perils. Younger Jedi were forbidden to visit the planet or inquire into its secrets. Darth Vader confronted his former Padawan Ahsoka Tano on Malachor, defeating her in a lightsaber duel, but Tano survived by escaping into a strange Force realm known as the World Between Worlds. A ravaged world located near the Hydean Way, Mandalore is home to clans of proud warriors who value honor above all other things. Mandalore was once a beautiful planet, but an ancient war devastated its forests and fields, transforming them into silent wastes of ash and sand. During the Clone Wars, Duchess Satine Kryze renounced Mandalore's violent past and sought to walk the path of peace, but she was slain by Maul, who became the planet's new ruler. In the last days of the Clone Wars, Ahsoka Tano confronted Maul on Mandalore, leading Mandalorian rebels against fighters loyal to Maul, known as Death Watch. The harsh, rocky world of Geonosis is located in the outer rim near Tatooine and encircled by a ring of dangerous, tumbling debris. The planet's mesas and badlands are home to hives of Geonosians, an insect species famous for their skill at creating droids, vehicles, and weapons of terrifying power. The factories of Geonosis made battle droids for the Separatists during the Clone Wars. Later, the Empire secretly built the first Death Star in orbit above the planet. The Clone Wars began on Geonosis when Mace Windu and Yoda led a task force of Jedi and clone troopers into battle against the former Jedi Count Dooku and his Separatist battle droids. Kashyyyk is a lush homeworld to the Wookiees, a forest planet covered in gigantic trees large enough to hold small cities. Kashyyyk grows more dangerous as you descend from the tops of the Rorschir trees to the darkness of the forest floor. Even Wookiee warriors fear the stealthy predators of the lowermost levels. One of the last battles of the Clone Wars was fought on Kashyyyk, with Jedi Master Luminara and Dooley fighting alongside Yoda, Republic troops, and Wookiee militia. Kashyyyk is a lush homeworld to the Wookiees, a forest planet covered in gigantic trees large enough to hold small cities. Coruscant is a planet-sized city located in the galaxy's core. It has served as the capital of galactic civilization for many thousands of years. Coruscant has been the Jedi Order's headquarters for countless centuries. Generations of Force-sensitive infants were brought to the mighty Jedi Temple to take their first steps along the Jedi path. Coruscant's Jedi Temple is almost unimaginably ancient, a labyrinth of training halls, archives, vaults, and galleries that serve as a storehouse of the Order's wisdom and Force lore. The legendary temple guard defends the Jedi Order. Guardians' masks and robes symbolize their emotional detachment and their surrender of everything except their commitment to the Order. The Maxine Station is an ancient construct orbiting a dying star deep in the Outer Rim. Centuries ago, it was used as an outpost by the fierce Maxine warriors. The Maxine Station was overrun sometime prior to the High Republic era by the Dringir, a species of sentient plants from wild space. The invading Dringir were then trapped in stasis by the Sith. The Dringir's captivity caused vegetation to engulf the Maxine Station's central sphere, creating an eerie arboretum overgrown with mosses, grasses, and vines. The First Order's Supreme Leader Snoke used Maxine Station as a retreat, meditating on the Force amid its bizarre plant life. He lured Ben Solo there and encouraged the vulnerable boy to embrace the dark side.